Torah is just a long string of numbers. Some say that it's a code sent to us from God.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's just good stuff. Check this out, okay? The word for the Garden of Eden, Kedem. Numerical translation, 144. Now the value of tree of knowledge, all right, in the garden, right? Eitz HaChaim, 233. 144, 233. And you can take those numbers. So the,
you know, like the Fibonacci sequence?
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci is an Italian mathematician in the 13th century. If you divide 144 into 233, the result approaches theta.
Theta?
Theta. The Greek symbol. Golden ratio, golden spiral.
Wow. I never saw that before. That's like that series you find in nature? Like the face of a sunflower?
Wherever the spirals.
You see this math everywhere.
Welcome back to the Gnostic Informant, and you're about to attain true gnosis. And what you just see in that thumbnail is not clickbait. Myself and Steven here are heading over to Hellas. We're going to hit up all the major spots, staying in Athens, at the Acropolis, in what is it called? The Plaka, right?
We're checking out Plaka. We're checking out Thesia. We're checking out different, all the neighborhoods that are around the Acropolis to sort of scout out what's going to be the best spot for us. But definitely somewhere either north or west of the Acropolis in the center of Athens.
By the way, I don't know if you guys can tell, my audio probably sounds a little bit better. I just got upgraded my audio, my system to the Rodecaster. So this is like as good as it gets right here. I hope so. Hope it sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna stay in Athens, but we have big plans that I hope don't fall. That I hope work out. It's not 100% solid. The game we have it's all gonna be. We have it all planned out so far, but we have some plans that we're hoping fall through correctly, and one of them is going to Arcadia. We're going to Arcadia regardless, but the big thing, the reason why we want to, the one thing we're hoping that we seal, that we're trying to work on, we're talking to people right now, and it's looking like, I think looking pretty good, is to set up an interview with the man, the myth, the legend, who just opened up a new temple to Pan and Zeus in Arcadia, which was the oldest, which is where the temple of Pan, Arcadia is where Pan was born in mythology. So we're going to Pan's. It's funny because when I went to Israel, I went to Pan's Grotto in Israel. It's a famous Hellenistic era spot. But now I'm going to the real Pan Grotto, not the fake one, the real one. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, I hope Bexis is the guy that started that whole temple over there. So we're going to try to get an introduction to him through our connections over at Ancient Greece Revisited. So there's a YouTube channel, Ancient Greece Revisited. Everybody should go subscribe to that. I'll drop a link in the chat. And they did an interview with him before the temple was unveiled. And so, we're going to try to arrange for you to interview him after the temple was unveiled. But
that interview you sent me from him, I fell in love with this guy because he's sitting there talking about the Greeks had it all figured out. We had good religion, we had good culture, we had democracy, we had music, we had poetry, we had people were lively around, and then the Christians canceled us, and then the Christians gave us the Dark Ages. And I was like, this is the guy who just started a temple to Pan. He sounds like me. I was like, I gotta find it.
It's a growing. There's a revival right now in Greece. So this guy Evangelos Bexis is his name, and there are a lot of people that are starting to sort of revive pagan practices in Greece.
Right. He's not the only one, exactly. And it's happening outside of Greece. It's happening, but like Greece is where you want it to happen the most because that's the originator of all these amazing temples, these Doric these beautiful rectangle Doric column temples. Oh my god, I can't wait to see the Temple of Poseidon. Right off the coast of Attica.
Yeah, that we're gonna try to go there probably the first day or the second day, hopefully, if we have time. I'm gonna be busy. Yeah.
I think I might have an image of it in my banner in my media assets here. It's like one of the most famous looking ancient Greek temples. It's so iconic. Everyone's probably seen a photo of it at some point in their life. Actually, I must have got rid of it. We can pull it up.
It's a place called Sunio. It used to be called Sunion. Here, I'll drop it in the private chat. It used to be called Sunion, and now the Greeks call it Sunio without the N, but it originally would have been Sunion, and that's where the temple is, right? Yeah, that's the Temple of Poseidon.
How many of you haven't seen this? Everyone's seen this. It's in fact when I use B-roll, when I make videos and when I make B-roll, they have a whole bunch of shots in the website that I use to get B-roll from. They have a whole whoops, where'd it go?
Go back to that and go to the temple at sunset picture on the Wikipedia article. Or just cycle through.
This one?
It is no. Yeah,
oh,
that's the view.
My God.
So if you show up, it depends on when the sunset is timed. But if sunset's at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., as long as you show up by like 5 and you get through the line and you get up there, that's the sunset that we're gonna see. So we gotta time it out so we show up like at least an hour before.
And I went and so this is why I want to thank my Patreon right now and the members. Somebody just joined recently. Greek Informant just joined. Nice name, by the way. I seriously want to thank the Patreons and the members right now because I mean, this is you're fueling all this. This is firstly, it's for like I'm going to release everything to the public, but I'm definitely going to reserve some like behind the scenes fun and extra stuff for people on Patreon because I was just able to go out just this last week and I still have a couple more things I got to get and get brand new camera equipment that I can use for on the go. I got a stabilizer. Actually, I can go grab it real quick and show them what I got. But before I go and grab that, actually, while I'm going to grab that, why don't you just tell them some of the spots we're going to? But is there anything else you wanted to see on this Temple of Poseidon thing?
No, I guess if you want me to kind of like share my screen, I could show a little bit of the plan, and you can go grab your thing.
Yeah. Is that big enough for you? Or do you want me?
Yeah, that's good. So
I'll be right.
this is so if you zoom out, this is the map of Athens, and I've been sort of dropping pins in places that that would be places of interest. So obviously, Arcadia is over here in the Peloponnese, and this is far away. So I don't know if this is like a 3.5 hour drive, basically. Which, if you drive that far, you're going to pass by Corinth here. So then you have to stop in Corinth. So I don't know if maybe we fly over there somehow. That's going to be kind of a stretch. What we were just showing was Sunio. So basically, when you fly into Athens, you fly in here, and then to get into the city, you got to drive through these roads, and you get here. So this is where we're going to be targeting. So everything in the center of the city of Athens is oriented around the Acropolis. So I go to Greece all the time, so this is very familiar to me. So this is the Acropolis of Athens, and you can see that basically on the west side of the Acropolis, you have all of these hills that you can hike. With this Lofos Philopapo right here, the Philopapo Monument, Philopappus Hill. There's not much. There aren't accommodations here on the west side of the Acropolis. Where we're going to be looking to probably get like an Airbnb is either right here to the northwest of the Acropolis in Theseo. There's some decent places here we're looking at. Or over here in a place called Plaka. So Plaka is the area that's just to the east of the Acropolis. And over here is the temple of Olympian Zeus that is right next to Plaka. So either way, it's good. It's a good place to be, right? Like either the east side of the Acropolis, so you can just walk. Basically, like if you're in Plaka, right, you're here, and this is the choreagic monument of Lysikrates. If you're here, if you start here, you basically just like walk along here. Here's the Temple of Dionysus. I don't know, the map doesn't really show. Like maybe if I can switch to layers. There we go. All right. Now, this is sorry for not doing this earlier. So here's the Acropolis, here's the Parthenon, here's the Erechtheion, right? Here's the Propilia, the Propilia, and the Odeon. So I finally switched to satellite view. So here you can see like the hill right here. So what we're trying to get is a place that would situate us somewhere over here near Theseo. So that we're walking distance from all of the from the the rock, from the Acropolis. Or if we're in Plaka, this is a very nice little neighborhood, then you're also walking distance, and you just hit the Theater of Dionysus here, and then this is the entrance right here. The Propilia is the entrance onto the, here you go, the Propilia, and then you walk onto the Acropolis right here, and boom, you're right in front of the Parthenon.
Wow.
So this
okay,
is,
what else?
yeah.
I think what else are we doing besides? So what's another big one? Delphi, right?
Yeah. So we talked about Sunio. So basically, if you drive along the coast, you go all the way to the Cape, which is the far, far tip. This is the point at the tip of the peninsula of Attica, right, where you can see everything, right? Like you see all these islands, you see out into the Aegean Sea, and this is where the temple of Poseidon is. Now, Delphi is a bit more of a drive. So Delphi is up here, right? This is Delphi. So what we were trying to figure out is like, okay, if we take a road trip and we go out to this area, then we're going to want to stop here, which is Thebes, right? Theba in modern Greek. And then you drive through Thebes. And then here is the Helicon Muses. I don't know what we were looking at there. Some museum.
That's right out of
Mount
Hesiod right there. And
yeah, and Mount Helicon.
Irony.
And then you keep going, and then here's Delphi right here. So there's the Temple of Apollo, boom,
and the grave of Dionysus. That's where
Yep.
not just, it wasn't just a site where they had a tomb there, a grotto and a tomb on the bottom of the mountain, but also in the myth, in one of the Hellenistic versions of the myth, Apollo takes the body of Zagreus and buries him there. So it's actually Zagreus, not Dionysus. He buries the body of Zagreus at the foot of Mount Delphi. Anyways, so we got more. There's so many more things we got to say about what we got planned. But check this out. I got this. Just got this. It's a Ronin, and you hit the on button. Hopefully I got this thing going right. I don't embarrass myself. Let's see what happens.
Got people asking about your dog. What's going to happen to Medea?
She's going to stay with good people. I got a nice little sitter around here. So this is a stabilizer. I'm going to have the monitor right here, and you can walk around, and it keeps the camera completely level, and it's always facing up and down. So yeah, I'm still working on it. I still have to play around with the settings, and I know I can do like selfie mode. You can go like this. You can go turn it around, turn it back around again. You can also see this little thingamajigger right here. You can adjust. Oh, let me show you like this. You can adjust your focus with the button, so everything becomes like one-handed basically. So yeah, that's why I want to say thanks for the Patreon, because I'm just on everything that you guys give me. I just put it right into this. That's all I do. All the extra money I get from Patreon, I'm just upgrading. More research, more scholars, more. It all goes to the channel. Nothing else. I don't keep any of it. I really don't. So yeah. Okay. Big announcement though. So I also wanted to say We talked about meeting Bexis. The story, though, I wanted to talk about the story of what happened to him because it's fascinating. When you sent me that interview that we already watched. Oh, by the way, Cross Bible. I forgot to show Cross Bible. Hit up Cross Bible. Support.
Should I put it in the starred section? Wait, okay, I can put a
Yeah,
link.
yeah. So when you sent me that video or whatever it's called, the interview of was that your friend that was interviewing him?
Yeah, that's Michalis from Ancient Greek. I posted the link to the Ancient Greece Revisited YouTube channel above this. So we're trying to arrange some kind of a meeting with you guys too, maybe an interview that you can do with them.
Yeah.
But they interviewed him.
By the way, that's what I was doing right before this live started. I was testing out my camera's Wi-Fi function, so I can see that when we're in Greece, I can use my phone's data if it works. I don't know if it will.
Might be a little expensive.
Yeah, whatever. We might have to pay for something, like a little device.
You got to get some like roaming. I don't know. We'll have to see what.
Like a MiFi or MiFi device or something. But if we get one of those, my Zcam that I'm holding right here, this one has Wi-Fi on it, so I can potentially go live from the camera while we're sitting right in front of Bexis and just have people ask him questions like, "What the hell? What was the process like?" I mean, the interview your friend did with him was amazing. It made me want to just drop everything I'm doing and go to Greece. By the way, we're going 3 weeks, 20 days from now. We're going to be there. It's happening right now. We're not waiting 6 months. It's not a year from now. No. We're going in. We're set. This is set up. We're going 3 weeks. Not even right, like 20 days, something like that.
Yeah, I'll post it. So we're thinking about like April 10th. 10th, 11th. We haven't nailed down the exact date, but that's basically what we're thinking. Here's the link to that exact interview if anybody wants to watch it. The interview with.
Why don't we play just a few clips of it? I want them to hear. My audience is going to fall in love with this guy. They're going to fall in love with this guy. Just let him talk. Let's not even talk for him. Let's talk.
All right.
I don't know. Should we watch should we skip? Because he was.
Why don't you turn on? I'm playing it. Oh, playing it. Okay.
Yeah, he gets like pretty heated about like Christianity and shit.
Yeah, I'll turn on the subtitles and I'll read them. Wait, which part of the interview do you want? The beginning?
Yeah, the subtitles they're gonna see the subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Geez, hold on.
And by the way, just so you guys know, I'm gonna edit the video and I'm gonna AI over his voice so you can hear him in English. So you know I'm gonna go a little farther than your friend's going. I'm gonna turn it into a full-blown documentary, actually. Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, we can't hear it. Did you make it audio?
I can't hear it. Hold on. Okay, so I gotta hold on. I'll share.
Yeah,
share screen with audio.
Yep.
Okay, share audio. Share.
Keep in mind, the way your friend did it was fine with the subtitles. But I'm gonna go a step further, and I'm going to add AI voiceover. So as I'm talking to him and he's responding, the audience is gonna hear it in English. I'll make 2 versions of the video. I'll make the original one for people who are Greek that want to watch it.
Yeah, because we need to because we probably need to find an interpreter, and like I could do it, but maybe it would be great if Michalis could do it.
I got somebody.
I know who lives there. Επανελληνισμό. Είναι ένας όρος που πολύ ακούγεται, αλλά πίστεψε με, Μιχάλη.
Real quick. I want to explain something real quick. In the background, you see it's not even built yet. That's pure marble that they got from a quarry not too far in Arcadia. And those are pure marble ionic columns. That is finished today, and they already inaugurated this on the 8th. So it's the 22nd. It's already been inaugurated for 2 weeks now. And guess what happened on the 8th? He was bailed out of jail. They arrested him because Greece is so Orthodox Christian still. They're still like they still have their hands on everything in the government, and they went after this guy for doing this because Pan is the devil. Watch, he explains it. Go ahead. He's on bail right now, and
θέλει θυσίες, δεν θέλει λόγια. Και θέλει και μια σοβαρότητα, όχι σοβαροφάνεια, σοβαρότητα για να μπορέσουμε να προχωρήσουμε και να δημιουργήσουμε κάτι καινούριο, κυρίως για τις γενιές που έρχονται. Σε όλο αυτό το μεγάλο χώρο λοιπόν, ο οποίος συνεχώς αυξάνεται σε στρέμματα, είμαστε ήδη στα 170 στρέμματα και μεγαλώνει αυτός ο χώρος, φιλοδοξούμε να χτίσουμε ένα κέντρο ας μου επιτραπεί ο όρος εκπαιδεύσεως κυρίως των νέων γενιών, των νέων ανθρώπων που έρχονται. Ούτως ώστε να ξαναφέρουμε και πάλι, και θα αγωνιστούμε γι' αυτό, το αρχαίο ελληνικό αξιακό σύστημα μαζί με τους προγόνους θεούς και θεές. Δεν είναι μια ουτοπία. Αυτοί δεν μας ξέχασαν. Εμείς τους ξεχάσαμε. Και είναι καιρός να τους ξαναβρούμε. Έτσι λοιπόν εδώ τώρα στεκόμαστε μπροστά από, όπως πολύ καλά είπε στην εισαγωγή, στον πρώτο λειτουργικό ναό της αρχαίας ελληνικής θρησκείας που θα επιδιώξουμε με όλες τις δυνάμεις μας να επανέλθει στον τόπο που γεννήθηκε. Αυτό δεν σημαίνει ότι θα έρθει σε σύγκρουση με νεότερα θρησκευτικά δόγματα και δεν υπάρχει λόγος. Εμείς πιστεύουμε σε αυτό και αυτό θα σας δείξουμε. Τώρα από εκεί πέρα είναι επιλογή του κάθε ανθρώπου το τι θα κάνει. Έτσι λοιπόν δημιουργήσαμε τον πρώτο λειτουργικό ναό της αρχαίας ελληνικής θρησκείας ή όπως θες πες το ελληνικής εθνικής θρησκείας, δεν θα κολλήσουμε τώρα στον όρο, θα κολλήσουμε στην ουσία, στη λατρεία των προγόνων και των θεών μας. Και είναι αυτός που τώρα, εδώ και 6 μήνες περίπου, έχει ξεκινήσει να φτιάχνει.
Και δεδομένου και το χρόνο που είναι πάντα περιορισμένος, θέλω να μπω στο ζουμί αυτό που είπες, γιατί προφανώς ένα τέτοιο έργο έχει ιστορικές προεκτάσεις, αρχαιολογικές προεκτάσεις. Μπορείς να μας πεις για το πώς ο χώρος σε επέλεξε αντί για το αντίθετο. Ερχόμενος όπως ήρθαμε, με ρωτήσαν, επειδή φαίνεται να ξέρω 2 πράγματα για το θέμα, τι σήμαινε η Αρκαδία στην αρχαία Ελλάδα, και το πρώτο πράγμα που είπα ήταν ο τόπος του Πανός, και χάρηκα που βγήκα σωστός, γιατί με το που μπήκαμε στο ναό είπες ότι θα είναι το ιερό του Πάνα.
Αυτός είναι ο ναός του Πανό.
Σας το είπα.
Εδώ λατρεύεται ο Παν και ο Δίας.
Ο Παν και ο Δίας. Αλλά θέλω να μπω στην ουσία που είναι η πνευματική διάσταση.
Well, how did he say Zeus there? That was a weird dialect. It was like...
No. So it's modern Greek. So basically, you could hear them saying pan, tu pan, and tu panos. So pan is the god Pan.
I heard that. But it sounded like he said Jovis or something. Jovis or something.
Okay, so in modern Greek, they have lost the third declension, and Zeus is a third declension noun. So typically it would be Zeus, right? Zeus would be the nominative, Zeus, in modern Greek. And then in the genitive, it's Dios, right?
Dios.
And in the accusative, it's Dia. And in modern Greek,
I know the ancient. I don't know the modern though.
Yeah. So in modern Greek, what happened in the third declension is that the accusative case became the new nominative. So the accusative case of Zeus or Zeus is Dia. And now in modern Greek, the name of Zeus is Dias. So that's what they're saying is Dias.
Can you just back it up a second? I just want to hear it one more time.
Yeah.
Just back it up for a second. I want to hear it one more time.
Γιατί με το που μπήκαμε στο ναό είπες ότι θα είναι το ιερό του Πάνα.
Αυτός είναι ο ναός του Πανό.
Σας το είπα.
Εδώ λατρεύεται ο Παν και ο Δίας.
Ο Παν και ο Δίας.
Dias, okay.
O Pan και ο Dias. So
Dias.
Pan and Zeus. They still have the word.
He said it the accusative.
No. This is the new way because Dias is the new nominative of. They don't say Zeus anymore. They say Dias. They still understand. Like Zeus is still part of the lexicon, but they just say Dias. That's the new name of Zeus in modern Greek.
Dan, though he said two Dan, so wouldn't that be accused or two Dias? So wouldn't that be?
Well, here they're saying Opan και ο Dias. So there's like with the definite article. So it's the Pan and the Zeus. That's the way so it's translated into English as Zeus because Dias doesn't mean anything to us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll back it up one more time. We can hear it again.
Ναός του Πανό.
Σας το είπα.
Εδώ λατρεύεται ο Παν και ο Δίας.
Ο Παν και ο Δίας.
Εδώ λατρεύεται ο Pan και ο Dias. That means here Zeus and Pan are worshipped. Λατρεύεται, right?
Yeah, I got that one.
Αλλά θέλω να μπω στην ουσία που είναι η πνευματική διάσταση. Δηλαδή, πάρα πολύ και σίγουρα και από αυτούς που μας ακούνε, αν και πάντα το κοινό ενός καναλιού είναι αυτό που λένε biased, έτσι, είναι προεπιλεγμένο για να τους αρέσει αυτά που λες λίγο πολύ, αλλά ακόμα και σε εμάς έχουμε και έχω.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Is that the guy with the helicopter, the guy on the right?
No. That's so the guy on the right is the host of Ancient Greece Revisited. His name is Michailidis.
Yeah.
So he's just the guy who is the face of this YouTube channel.
Okay.
Αμφιβολίες κατά πόσο μπορεί να υπάρχει μια αναβίωση λειτουργικού
Θα
χαρακτήρα.
σου απαντήσω.
Με δεδομένο ότι αυτή η μεγάλη γραμμή της αρχαίας ελληνικής λατρείας διακόπη. Και αυτό είναι το πρώτο που ρωτάω και στέκομαι όποτε συναντάω ανθρώπους σαν εσένα. Ή συγκρίναμε πριν σε ιδιωτική μας συζήτηση τη γιόγκα, τις παραδόσεις που έρχονται από την Ασία, τον βουδισμό και σίγουρα την χριστιανική θρησκεία. Όλες αυτές έχουν μια αδιάκοπη γραμμή από τον Ιησού Χριστό, όποιος και αν ήταν, όπου και αν υπήρξε, στους πρώτους μαθητές, στους δεύτερους, στους τρίτους. Ένας άνθρωπος που θεωρεί σήμερα χριστιανό έχει ακούσει το Ευαγγέλιο από κάποιον που το άκουσε, από κάποιον που το άκουσε, από κάποιον που το άκουσε από τον ίδιο τον Ιησού.
Η ερώτηση σου είναι πάρα πολύ ωραία. Θα σου απαντήσω αμέσως. Αυτό που ονομάζουμε ελληνική κοσμοθέση των πραγμάτων και ελληνική θρησκεία, ξέρεις τι ιστορία έχει αποδεδειγμένα πίσω σε χρόνια? Γύρω στα 7.000 χρόνια. Μου μίλησες για χριστιανισμό. Ο χριστιανισμός έχει το minimum, μάλλον το maximum, 2.000 χρόνια. Maximum. Εδώ θα πούμε και για ένα άλλο ψέμα τεράστιο το οποίο διαδίδεται και βεβαίως ο κόσμος θα έχει αυτή την απορία την οποία έχεις και εσύ. Δηλαδή, πώς είναι δυνατόν αφού κάτι έχει τελειώσει? Ψέμα. Γιατί αλλιώς δεν θα έκλεινε τον 6ο αιώνα μετά Χριστόν το 529 η Πλατωνική Ακαδημία. Άμα ήταν άχρηστη η Πλατωνική Ακαδημία και δεν υπήρχαν Έλληνες στο θρήσκευμα, δεν θα έπρεπε να την αφήσει και να μην ασχοληθεί μαζί της ο Ιουστινιανός? Όμως γνωρίζουμε, το 529 την κλείνει. Όπως γνωρίζουμε, υπάρχει η Ιουστινιάνιος νομοθεσία, η οποία λέει όσοι και είναι θυμία μας τους Έλληνες θεούς θα πάνε φυλακή, όσοι τελούν θυσίες θα εκτελεστούν. Άρα σημαίνει...
Somebody said in the chat that the temple was forcibly closed 2 weeks ago.
No, 2 weeks ago. It just got opened.
That's what they said in the chat. I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
I thought it literally just got inaugurated 2 weeks ago. I mean, if it's shut down, that's crazy. But I still want to go there and meet the guy.
The devious Greek said the temple was forcibly closed by the police 2 weeks ago, and the church is still moving things in Greece.
So where I don't see the right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, that's crazy. So wait, this is after the 8th then, right? When they inaugurated it, Devious Greek? You know about the inauguration, right? I can play a clip of that if you want. I can pull that up. I wonder if he knows if this was after the inauguration. I still want to go there and I still want to talk to him regardless if it's open or not. We're going to make that happen. Plus we have people who know him and it looks like it's looking pretty good right now as a possibility. I don't want to promise anything and then they get last minute, it doesn't happen, but I'm kind of keeping I'm not promising stuff, but I'm hoping
and definitely look, if people go and subscribe to Ancient Greece Revisited, I can then reach out to Michalis tomorrow and say, hey, check your analytics. And that'll kind of motivate them to help us out. Like, oh, wow, we get a really big boost from the Gnostic informant exposure. So please do that. Go subscribe to Ancient Greece Revisited and watch their content. They produce really good stuff. 2 guys run that channel, Michalis and Adam. They're good friends.
So Devious Greek, if you're in, this is a video and the same person is complaining about it posted 3. Oh, okay. So this is before they got shut down. Okay. So let me revise my timeline. 2 months ago, they were building this temple, and you saw in that interview they were still building it. He gets arrested just after that by the authorities. There's an article. Steven, can you link me that article, please? It's so crazy. I want to show them this article. While you're looking that up, I'm going to play this. This was the inauguration on the 8th. This had me like really hopeful.
Καλημέρα όλη μέρα με πολύ ή λίγο αέρα και όλα καλά θα πάνε αν τα σύννεφα πήσανε.
I think I clicked the wrong video. There's a video where they actually show that was not the video that I saw before. It wasn't just photographs, it was actually a video of it. I don't see it anymore. It's gone. Anyways, here's the
article from Greek City Times.
Yeah, you can see the temple's fully built. It's styled after the old ancient Ionian style temples. You can see like they studied, they knew their shit. This is how you would look This is how an ancient Ionic temple would look. Everything, all the details, they would have the Pantheon up here, they would have the columns up here, and then it would be a specific way it's laid out in marble. This looks
the
amazing.
Ionic column, the Ionic order columns.
Yeah, exactly. This is
beautiful curls.
This is a beautiful Greek temple. They have all the stuff. They got the they got the drums, they got the lyre, they got the kithara. They have they're ready to go. They're ready to start doing liturgy. It was supposed to start, and apparently, it's breaking news on my channel. I didn't even know this. Now it's shut down again. But let me just show you what this guy's going through right now. So, where's you put the link in on my private. Okay, cool.
I gave it a private chat to the It's from the Greek City Times.
So this guy that you just saw in the interview was arrested right after that interview happened. So this is on February 25th. This is how fast things are moving. February 25th, he gets arrested. He gets bailed out. As he's on bail, what does he do? He inaugurates the temple on March 8th in protest. Now check this out. It says the conflict in Arcadia between the church and the believers of the 12 Olympian gods continues to rage. The first temple dedicated to Zeus and Pan is being built on a 150-acre private plot of land in Gortynia, Arcadia, near the village of Kalliani. In January, it was announced that the temple would be for liturgical purposes and welcome to those who believe in the ancient Greek religion. It's not just a tourist site. This is for real. This is real. But this is what the church authorities responded with. So this person says, this news, which has already provoked discussions and reactions, requires a careful response as the church of the living God. And so this guy right here, you can look at him. Look at this guy. This guy shut his ass down. I don't know what he did. I don't know how he pulled the strings in the government. I don't even know what his charges were. Do you know what his charges were? Did he do anything wrong? I didn't hear anything. It says this specific action, which attempts to restore practices and perceptions of religiosity of a bygone eras, causes us sadness and concern. It is not a return to a bright and glorious past, as the followers claim, but a regression to a dark world dominated by human passions and demonic works. It is not a Greek phenomenon, but a foreign one, which attempts to be forcibly transplanted into the Greek reality. Our glorious ancestors had themselves realized the inadequacy of their religion and were searching for something better. Now, this is what I want to make my documentary about right here. This made me want to punch a wall the other day when I read this, because it's not true. It's not true that they won because everyone loved how great Christianity was. They, at the time of Constantine's making Christianity legal and basically the main religion of the imperial cult, that's what he did. Let's be real. He didn't just legalize it. He made it the religion of the imperial cult. He didn't make the other ones illegal yet, but it happens very shortly after. But it was only 5 to 10% of the population in that period in the 4th century. By the 4th century, only 5 to 10% of the population was Christian. That means the other 90% were still traditional pagans. So how did they go from 90% to being completely off the map in 1 century? Social pressure. It's not that his ancestors didn't decide that Christianity was better. So that's what I want to make this documentary about. I want to make a documentary about the classical period, the Dark Ages, and this whole entire myth that Christianity won because of how great it was. So,
well, you're going to get a lot of footage. Like when you walk around, you're going to see all the tourist shops and like all of these souvenir shops are all going to have like statues of the 12 Olympian gods, right? Like that's the thing that they attract their tourists with. It's not, I mean, you'll see plenty of icons and crosses and stuff too. It's a mix. Right. It's sort of like embedded in their culture.
That brings me to the next thing I want to talk about in my documentary is how much the Christians owe to the Greeks. The concept of the logos, the stoic attitude of Christianity, all the Platonist theology that gets sort of embedded into the text, all the Thomism, Aristotelianism, all that stuff. So like the idea that they're going past, what? That's the past that your entire religion came from.
Yeah, I mean, the Devious Greek was asking if he could send a YouTube video in the chat. I don't know if he'd get the link in there, but if you click on his comment, he says it's about offending the religious sentiments of the people. It's weird here, man.
So they got a charge. He got charged for. Oh my god! Oh my god! He got charged for being offensive to Christians. That's how much power.
That's the official charge. Yeah.
Because I was under the impression, I was just learning about the 18th and 19th century, or late 18th, early 19th century, and how the U.S. got its independence and constitutional republics were a reality. France followed suit, and Greece was right behind us. Greece did it before Spain did. Greece got there. Remember the Greek independence war of the 18th century? You know about it. I was under the impression that after that,
19th,
middle of the 19th, yeah, that's what I meant. So I was under the impression that after that they had a constitutional republic, which meant freedom of religion. Apparently, that's not I was wrong about that. I was totally wrong about that. I did not think that you can't practice a religion in Greece.
Well, and I think what Devious Greek is also mentioning is that it may not just be a top-down imposition. There's also a bottom swell of just the general public being very religious and very paranoid. There have been earthquake swarms near Santorini. They're worried about potential volcanic activity. They may there could be people. They're very superstitious. Right. They may think that maybe God is going to punish us for allowing this pagan temple to be you have to kind of get into their headspace. They are generally there's sort of this baseline of orthodoxy there that is really hard to overcome with this effort.
So I have to find this guy. I have to talk to him. I have to give him my support. I have to tell him look, I have a whole channel of people that we're on the internet that are behind you on this, and we want to let you know we have your support. We want to make this documentary, and you're the star of the documentary. And my plan is to go around Greece, film all the beautiful ancient sites, get some B-roll. Hopefully, we can get into a helicopter, as your friend was saying. We could do the helicopter thing. Get B-roll of all the ruins. Get on a boat, hit up the islands, get as much footage as we possibly can, and then interview him for as long as we can, to discuss what happened to him, what his plans are. And then I'm going to weave that into my own personal documentary style that I usually do about ancient Greece, Dark Ages, and this myth that Christianity won because of how great it was. That's my project right now. That's why you're seeing I'm not uploading as often, because I'm working on this right now. I want this to be done perfectly. Perfect. I want this to really, really go far as how good it gets, Thank you, S. Mill. When do you think people first began practicing belief in omniscient, omnipotent? First century? See, way earlier than that. Well, actually, no, maybe not, because there was this idea of a omniscient, omnipotent God in Platonism, but they didn't worship him. They just he just said he was there. He just did it. He's just the one that we credit as the craftsman of the universe. But they worship the daimons. They worship Pan. They worship Zeus. They worship Athena. They worship Aphrodite. So when did people start worshiping the one? I would say, yeah, maybe first century.
Or when did they conceive of the one as being omniscient and omnipotent, though? Those are sort of probably maybe later concepts.
Century, maybe third century. Yeah. No, that's a good question. I would say that's a good question. Yeah, so okay, back to what we were saying. So, here's one more. No, Nonum channel. Just curious if you have heard of the interpretations of the Bible as a war doctrine, not meant for the entire world, or the book of Chaldean Genesis. Thank you for your work. I haven't heard of the book of Chaldean Genesis, unless that's some part of the Chaldean oracles that I'm not familiar with. I haven't heard about that. But as far as the Bible being a war doctrine, what do you mean, like the art of war type of thing? Or because it's Bible's a lot of things. The Bible is Psalms, it's Proverbs, it's it's law, it's narrative, it's all a bunch of stuff. Chronicles. Is there war doctrine in it? Kind of. There's this idea of defending the land against the idolaters and Baal worshippers and Philistines and all that stuff. So maybe that's what you're getting into. But thanks for the super chat.
Doctrines about who gets the spoils of war and things like that.
Spoils of war, yeah. And Joshua is a war doctrine book, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think about that. Joshua's conquest, that's definitely a war doctrine, 100%. So I would say to that question, not the whole thing, but is there parts of it? Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what I was wanting to say was my plan for this documentary: get the interview first and foremost, get the sites, get the B-roll, and then come back here and sort of finish my script that I'm working on and then weave it all together into one documentary. Not too long. I don't want to make it like a 5-hour thing, but I'll probably do like a nice 2 hours, you know what I mean? Something like that. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think you should also just do a lot of travel stuff just to like give people a view into Greece that don't have the opportunity to go, and inspire people to go.
Exactly. And that's another thing I'm glad you reminded me about, because I want to figure out a way to get internet working while we're walking around. Just not like all the time, not like all day long, but like just like for, hey, let's do an hour of live stream real quick.
Yeah, you can turn roaming on your phone. You'll have decent internet all over Athens. It's just you just pay a little premium, but I think depending on, we'll investigate it together offline and figure out what package you could get to like just get some data roaming.
Yeah, I got some new microphones that clip onto yourself, so we don't have to hold the microphone up. We'll be clipped up, and that way you can sort of see me as I'm there and look at cool. We're gonna go everywhere. We're gonna go as many places as we can. Let's see, where are we not going? Macedonia, we're not going?
Well, I mean, there's so many places we're not going because there's so many islands. So it's it depends on how many islands. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go with you to any of the islands.
Probably not Crete, too.
Yeah, Crete would be amazing. Yeah, Crete's the farthest.
It's the farthest.
The southernmost. Yeah.
Yes, let's consider
lots of. We're not going to Thessaloniki. We're not going to Macedonia. We're not going to the Mount Athos. Like there's lots of things to do and see in Greece, and you can go for 3 weeks and just not even scratch the surface.
And by the way, me and Stephen will be splitting up for a good chunk of the time while we're there. He's actually doing work there. I'm gonna be on my own for a while, for like half the time. We're going for 3 weeks. We're gonna be there for a while.
I got a lot to do there. Unfortunately, I wish I could spend the whole time with you.
I'm gonna be filming the whole time, but look into the optical illusions employed on the Parthenon. Would make an amazing part of your documentary. Absolutely. I'm going to try to find
what those are. You know what to look for when you're there?
No.
Well, we'll show you. Yeah, because it's basically like the base of the Parthenon is curved. And so if you can get yourself, you can't get super close to it when you're on the Acropolis, but if you can get up to it and like look up, the pillars look straight because of the curvature of the base, and it makes it like look imposing from like a really far distance. But the Acropolis Museum, the new Acropolis Museum, is amazing. It's the most incredible museum I've ever been to. I would go like 5 or 6 times if I could, like every time I go to Greece, just to like watch and rewatch the video presentations and to see, like they have a replica of the entire like top of the Parthenon all the way around, all of those statues that they've taken down the friezes, and they've reconstructed them in the Parthenon Museum to protect them from the elements. And when you're looking at them, you look out the window and you see the actual Parthenon like from the museum. It's amazing.
I can't wait. You're making me like so excited to do this. Do you want to play a couple more things? Because he gets into like some real deep worldview of his own worldview.
Υπάρχει πάρα πολλοί κόσμος ο οποίος πιστεύει σε αυτή τη θρησκεία. Και είναι ένα ψέμα λοιπόν. Αυτό θέλω να σου πω. Θα μπορούσα να μιλάμε και να σου θέσω πολλά άλλα παραδείγματα.
Μέχρι εκείνα τα χρόνια σαφέστατα.
Θα σε πάω τώρα στη δυναστεία τη Μακεδονική. Μην ξεχνάς ότι είμαι και ιστορικός και αρχαιολόγος. Οπότε όλα αυτά που λέω σαφώς και τα στηρίζω σε πηγές, γιατί δεν μιλάω χωρίς πηγές. Δηλαδή μέχρι τη δυναστεία των Μακεδόνων, 1ο αιώνα μετά Χριστόν, Έχουμε ελληνική θρησκεία στη Μάνη, για παράδειγμα. Επίσης, έχουμε την αυτοκρατορία της Νικαίας στο Βυζάντιο, 13ος αιώνας, όπου το 13ο αιώνα μπαίνει, λέει, ο αυτοκράτορας και έχερον, λέει, όταν μπήκε στη Θεσσαλονίκη, και η της ημετέρας θρησκείας, με ήτα το ημετέρας,
της δικής μας δηλαδή.
Ναι, της δικής μας, της χριστιανικής δηλαδή, έλεγε ο χριστιανός, και είτε ελληνίζοντες. 13ος αιώνας μετά Χριστόν. Και θα σε πάω πολύ γρήγορα στο Γεώργιο Γεμιστό η Πλήθωνα, ο οποίος βεβαίως δήλωνε ότι η θρησκεία του είναι η ελληνική, η αρχαία ελληνική. Και μιλάμε για ποιον? Για το δάσκαλο του Κωνσταντινού Παλαιολόγου. Μιλάμε για τον ιδρυτή του δυτικού ουμανισμού, τον δάσκαλο ουσιαστικά των Μεδίκων και της Πλατωνικής Ακαδημίας που ανοίγει στη Φλωρεντία. Και μιλάμε εδώ για 15ο αιώνα μετά Χριστόν. Άρα καταλαβαίνουμε πως υπήρχαν πάντοτε εστίες οι οποίες συντηρούσαν αυτή που ονομάζουμε ελληνική θρησκεία, που δεν είναι μια θρησκεία ως δόγμα όπως τη φανταζόμαστε σήμερα. Μου μίλησες για Ευαγγέλιο. Okay. Το ελληνικό είναι πολύ πιο ανοιχτό. Η ελληνική θρησκεία μας είναι όλη φύση. Θρησκεία μας είναι κάθε τι που αναπνέει. Θρησκεία μας είναι κάθε τι που έχει ζωή. Που έρχεται δυστυχώς ένας άλλος τρόπος, ο οποίος λέει ότι είναι πάνω από τη γη, επί της γης, πιο ψηλά επί, κάτω από τη γη σου ανήκει. Σε ποιον ανήκει? Στον άνθρωπο. Θα τρελαθούμε.
Notice what he just said there. This is not a religion of dogma. This is an open religion. It's a religion that breathes and lives, that you're a part of. It's a culture. It's the rites. It's the rituals. It's not about believing in X and then therefore this will happen. Just like, back that up for a minute. That was so, this guy is so, he's like, I got to meet him. This guy's amazing. Listen to what he says right here. Or read what he says, I should say.
Θρησκεία που δεν είναι μια θρησκεία ως δόγμα όπως τη φανταζόμαστε σήμερα. Μου μίλησες για Ευαγγέλιο. Okay. Το ελληνικό είναι πολύ πιο ανοιχτό. Η ελληνική θρησκεία μας είναι όλη φύση. Θρησκεία μας είναι κάθε τι που αναπνέει. Θρησκεία μας είναι κάθε τι που έχει ζωή. Που έρχεται δυστυχώς ένας άλλος τρόπος, ο οποίος λέει ότι είναι πάνω από τη γη, επί της γης, πιο ψηλά επί, κάτω από τη γη σου ανήκει. Σε ποιον ανήκει? Στον άνθρωπο. Θα τρελαθούμε. Γι' αυτό φτιάξαμε έτσι τον κόσμο μας. Γι' αυτό καταστρέφονται.
Σίγουρα
Καταστρέφονται τα πάντα γύρω μας.
Καταλυτικές διαφορές.
Άρα έχουμε καταλυτικές διαφορές. Πρόσεξε κάτι να σου πω όμως. Εγώ δεν έχω
This is a weird question.
So weird.
Absolutely not. Do I feel like I miss? Do I miss Ammon as a friend? Yeah, I liked Ammon. I like being friends with Ammon. He was funny. He was cool. Do I think the path that I'm on is the wrong one? Absolutely not. The path that I was on. What
path is that?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm not on any path that's determined by anybody. In fact, being friends with somebody who only wants to be friends with you if you believe in everything they say, that's not a good path. Seriously, go to Ammon and find some things you disagree with him on and see what he says. See how much he talks to you after that. So somebody who can't be friends with you because you disagree with them on some bullshit, and somebody who, by the way, let's not beat around the bush. The dude's full of shit. Sorry, he's full of shit. He's lying to like about half the shit he says is in the sources. The other half is all made up. He just makes it up. It's not there. It's bullshit. He's lying. And then he does this thing where if someone makes a living on the internet, he tries to like, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because of the muse or whatever. And everyone that's like making a living on the internet is somehow like, stained or something, right? Their soul is stained, right? Well, it's because the dude doesn't have dude's on welfare and he doesn't need to have any bills paid like the rest of us. So he can, it's like the most sociopathic behavior ever. When you try to criticize everything that's you're not doing, when everyone else is out there making money and earning and trying to pay for their families, that's demonic because I don't have to do that. Or when somebody knows a lot about like, I don't know, Proto-Indo-European stuff, Proto-Indo-European is fake. It's not real because he doesn't understand it. Or if someone knows a lot about Hebrew is fake and wrong because he doesn't understand it. The only things that are good to him are things he understands. It's like a childish behavior. So I don't miss any of that shit. I miss before the Danny Jones thing happened, we were cool. I actually thought of him as a brother in many ways. But he's absolutely losing his mind right now. If you watch his live streams, he's freaking out over Stephen. Like he changes his voice when he talks about Stephen. Somebody sent me that clip, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, you crushed him! Like he's crushed right now." Anyways, let's talk about that for a second, because you and I are working on a video. You know, just to change up the subject for a quick minute, I'm gonna go back to this video. I promise. You and I are working on a video, and it's about, I know, it's just this whole thing has got me to want to say something finally, because I've been neutral this entire time when it comes to Ammon. I've always, since I met Ammon Hillman, by the way, he reached out to me. I didn't seek him out. He sought me out. That is a fact. If he says otherwise, he's lying like he's like normal. Anyways, from day one, I knew he was one of these people that are kind of full of shit right away. Well, the first thing he told me about was the Mark in the garden. I went and looked up Mark. I go, and then I look, you don't have to be an expert to be able to check to see what he's saying is not really going on in Mark 14. You don't have to be an expert to see. You don't have to. For him to be the only person in the world that knows what's going on in that passage is a gaslight. You are being gaslit. All right. It's not rocket scientists to find out, to translate one passage in Mark. I knew that was full of shit, but I also, from the rest of the conversation we had, we talked about Medea, we talked about ancient drugs, we talked about Galen. We had all this. He had all this. It was all this kind of cool shit that I thought was cool. So I always was aware that this guy was like half full of shit and like half fascinating. And I always focus on the fascinating side. And that's what I wanted to. That was where I kept our friendship in those domains. But recently, in the last 6 months to about a year, he's gone so deep off the deep end, whatever, rabbit hole. He is no longer in reality anymore. Almost every time he goes live, there's some giant bullshit lie he's telling his audience. Some Greek he flashes on the screen, and he'll take the Greek on the screen and he'll kind of translate it, but then he'll throw steroids on it and then make a naked boy show up and then make this happen and then make that happen. And all of a sudden it's prepubescent children are being used as drugs. He just takes everything and blows it up into like a million pieces that it's like indescribable. So I'm working on a video, and then he constantly cites Karl Ruck. And I've been watching him do this for years, where he constantly cites Karl Ruck, or he'll cite Julius Africanus. Julius Africanus, he said the Bible's Greek, and he's lying. Julius Africanus never says that. Julius Africanus says one book, not even one book, one chapter of Daniel, one chapter, the apocryphal Susanna was Greek. That's all he says. And then he tells you the rest of it's Hebrew. Anyways, he does the same thing with Karl Ruck. He treats Karl Ruck the same way he treats Africanus, where Karl Ruck might say one thing. He might have said that there's some crazy rituals going on with medicated people medicated and doing orgies. Like, remember, you and I talked to Ruck about this. He said that this is what he showed us the sources. We're like, oh, cool. But then he has no idea what burning purple is. He's never even heard of it. And Ruck's being cited for that. So like it got to the point where, okay, I made a video about Ralph Ellis after I was friends with Ralph Ellis, because I got to the point where it was a breaking point with how much bullshit I was hearing from Ralph Ellis. Ralph Ellis and Ammon are very similar. Ralph Ellis just says whatever he wants, and then he looks for the evidence to make it work. He doesn't look at the evidence and then extract from the evidence to what he thinks is going on. He starts off with this conclusion and then looks for the evidence to make it fit. I made a video about Ralph Ellis. I made a video about Richard Carrier. I made a video about Dan McClellan. So for me, it'd be kind of hypocritical not to just watch Ammon bullshit everybody. Just be a complete liar to 600 live people every other day. And if I'm gonna talk about these other people for them being full of shit or whatever I think they're wrong about, then if I'm getting called the brothel all the time, after all the shit I've defended you and promoted you and all this stuff, then all right, I'm gonna work on a video about all the shit that you're fucking lying about. And that's what I'm doing. And it's gonna be actually very long, very thorough. We have 2 guests. One of them is a Greek. How would you describe Luke Ranieri of Polymathy? How would you describe him?
Yeah, Luke Ranieri of Polymathy is a self-taught polyglot, similar to me, but he fluently speaks Latin. He is also a practitioner of like ancient Greek as a communicative, the communicative approach to ancient Greek. So he speaks ancient Greek. He's a pronunciation guru. So if you choose,
he speaks
ancient Greek.
Ammon does not speak Greek.
He developed his own system of pronunciation, which is called the Lucian. Yeah, that's his channel. The Lucian pronunciation system, which is basically like an elevated version of late Koine pronunciation, right? Like the pronunciation of the Hellenistic period as it would have been spoken by Lucianos, like by Lucian and sort of upper class people who were still conservative in their pronunciation, sort of like late Attic, basically, pronunciation. He pioneered this new method of pronunciation that is now gaining acceptance in internationally in ancient Greek enthusiast communities. So he is a really hardcore autodidact who has like made a name for himself in the language learning community. And his response to my request about collaborating on the Ammon Hillman thing was like, oh yeah, I noticed that when it came out.
For a long time now, and he's been doesn't want to waste his time on because it's so low. By the way, people don't realize Ammon is not big time. Like, no offense to Danny Jones, when Danny Jones introduced him on his podcast as one of the world's leading philologists, I was like, where's the punchline? Like, he's not a world's leading philologist. He's not writing peer-reviewed essays. He's not writing, he's not doing anything in the field. He's just some random guy who's got fired from university, who's knows a little bit of Greek, but he's not world leading. Second of all, he's very low-hanging fruit. So most experts in Greek are going to look at Ammon Hillman's video and go, I'm not going to talk about that. Imagine if you're Michael Jordan. All right. Imagine if you're Michael. Let's just any expert in Greek, not Michael Jordan. That's the best of the best. I don't know. Let's just say Steve Kerr Steve Kerr was like the 5th man on the Bulls in the 90s. You know, the coach now for the Washington or for Golden City. He played on that Bulls team. He was not even the 5th, maybe the 5th, 6th best player on the team. But he's a pro. You think Steve Kerr is going to worry about going to play some middle school, or not, maybe not middle school, like semi-pro, semi-pro, in the gutter somewhere. They're not even getting paid. Just some really low AAA league. No, they're not wasting their time because they're pros. Pros deal with other pros. So we can't. So the idea that no one wants to debate Ammon Hillman, nobody gives a shit. It's so beyond the pale. Some of the stuff he's saying is not being taken serious at all by nobody. Nobody wants to even talk about it. So when Luke found out that I was going to host the show, he's like, oh, this is perfect. I don't have to do the editing. I could just jump on your channel. I could pitch in and teach some people what the hell's going on here. But at the same time, I don't have to worry about doing all the work because nobody wants to do it. It's low-hanging fruit. It's not good work.
His response was when he first heard it, he said Ammon seemed quite deranged and got a lot of basics wrong. Whenever he spoke, I immediately dismissed him and haven't given him a second thought. That is a normal reaction to anyone who knows what they're doing. Yeah.
Just to show him people this is part of his channel. I just clicked on a random video.
The words for thee that are feminine plural and masculine plural respectively. Both of these are diphthongs, and that means 2 vowel sounds in 1 syllable. That's the reason why the rough breathing is over the second character in the diphthong, because they are in fact diphthongs. Hai, hui. Looks like a lowercase Roman alphabet
So you
V.
I'm just showing you his whole channel is teaching Greek and Latin. Those are the main two.
But you know the response is going to be that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, right? That is inevitably, that has to be the default knee-jerk reaction to any criticism. They don't really read Greek. They don't, like, this guy is reciting like the first 60 lines of the Iliad on one of his videos, but he doesn't really read Greek.
Where is
That's
that?
going to be the response.
Can we find that?
It's the it's the
right
type
here?
in the word
Starting Iliad, Homer's Iliad from memory.
Yes.
Oh my God! Imagine being
Play it
able
on
to
like play it on double X speed.
Really? Is it that long?
It's long, yeah.
Well, I just want to hear him do it.
Cephalos challenge. Memorizing the
Cephalos
first
challenge.
100 lines of the Iliad in 100 days. For more than 3 months, you've won education. Given that the Homeric dialect is so
long intro.
different in so many strange little ways.
Here it is, right here. All right, hold on. Let's start from the beginning.
Saying Iliad from memory. That's
the one line that I know. Yay! I knew that line. All right, now I'll let him take over. Oh shit, he's correcting himself.
Exudeta prota diaste tenerisante. Atreides de anaxandron caidios Achilleus.
I don't think so. Okay, somebody said this isn't good. Let's see. You try this. I know Ammon can't. By the way, he's even doing it in the prose. He's doing it in the prose. He's not just citing it. You can hear the prose in the way he's performing it, right?
Oh, by what standards is it not good? I mean, I don't know.
It's an Ammonite. It's a dumbass Ammonite. Who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Well, because they know, because they've heard. Yeah, they've heard that this person does not agree with Hillman, and therefore that is just preemptively
it's not
like,
good. Therefore, it's not good.
Hold up a shield. Yeah.
Yeah. None of them can do this. Neither can Ammon, but it's not good. They don't care.
Yeah.
You only like Ammon because he says the things that they want to hear. They want there to be a pedo Jesus. They want there to be drugs in the text. They love it. So they don't care if it's wrong. That's the point. We care if things are wrong.
They're listening to the stream, though.
Problematic because we care about the truth. That's why we're problematic. That's why he ditched me as a friend, because I was too much. I didn't give a shit. I wasn't gonna fall for all the dumb shit. But let's just. I want to hear this. This is so good.
Distars poeteo neridixun heke makestai.
My bad, Larry. I thought you were talking about
Letus caidios huios hogar basilei colotis. Nus ona nastraton orse caceno le conto de laui. Hunecaton crucen. Eti masenare terra.
Wait. What did he get wrong there? Because did he say who's? Did he say it with the?
Well, he marked himself wrong for saying colotes instead of colotes. He's saying that he pronounced kappa in place of he, or what?
Yeah,
his style is he.
It sounded like he said it right. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not.
Yes, because k and ch are like very, very close, and I believe what he's striving for is the difference between k and k. Like that, he's just very, very like he has a high bar basically for what he considers to be pronounced correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah. I heard it now. It was the hard K. You're right. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not minimizing. I'm not trying to minimize you, but I'm just going to be real with you. If you've been watching him for over a year now and you still haven't figured out that it's bullshit, then I don't have any patience for like trying to like hold your hand through this shit anymore. I'll just go ahead, have fun. Go. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'm going to make one video. I don't care what the comments are. I don't care who says what. That's only going to be one video, and I'm never talking about Ammon Hillman ever again. That's it. After this video comes out, and I'm not going to finish it before Greece either. I'm not focusing on that right now. But I am talking about it. I am talking about it right now because we're working on it. So I will talk about it right now until I release the video. I'm going to keep talking about it because it's on my mind and working on it. After I release this video, I don't care what the hell. I'm not trying to shut down the Ammonites. I'm not trying to end the community. I'm not trying to cancel Ammon. I actually want them to keep continuing. I think it's great. I think they have a great community. I think they're all having fun. Great. But don't act like you guys are right, because you're not. None of you are right. It's bullshit. It's a fantasy. It's basically a new fucking cult religion at this point. It's basically a faith religion. I have faith in the burning purple. That's what it is. I believe the burning purple exists. Like, it's not there. That's all it is. All right.
The next super chat is asking you a question that's why are you rejecting the thesis about the why are you discounting the influence of drugs and inducing?
It's not in the sources. Okay. If there's a source that says X, I show it on my channel. I promote it all the time. I'm the one that went out on Danny Jones and brought the whole entire thing about the Marcus the Christian drugging the Eucharist with a purple drug. I literally know that some sources exist. However, the way to do good methodology is you don't just take sources that exist and then make up an imaginary theory from them that doesn't exist. So do I think that there was entheogens in the ancient world? Yes. Haloma is the Persian sacred beverage. Soma is the sacred beverage for the Indians. Koukeon is for the sacred beverage for the Greeks. The Scythians had something else. I forgot what it's called. There was entheogens in the ancient world. What does that have to do with taking prepubescent children and using them to extract drugs from them? Where does that go? Show me the source. Show me the source. Link it right now, and I'll stop talking. I'll stop saying it doesn't exist. And especially, even if it did exist, how does that get into Mark 14 all of a sudden? It doesn't. It's all made up. Thank you for the super chat.
$20.
Oh,
okay. Ilexi neoniskos, it's misspelled. Ilexi neoniskos προέρχεται από neanias.
Neoniskos.
Well, yeah, it's a typo. It's a typo. He knows how to spell it. So ilexi neaniskos, so the word neaniskos προέρχεται από neanias. So it comes from neanias. Δηλαδή του νέου άντρα. So, for example, the young man. Συγκεκριμένα, specifically, νέος αναφέρεται σε κάποιον νεαρό σε ηλικία. So it refers to somebody who is fresh or young in their age, right? Neanias, nearos andras. So a neanias is a young man or a fresh man. Neaniskos, mikros neanias, a small neanias or like a younger neanias or young man. Δηλαδή πολύ νεαρός άντρας. So, for example, it's a very, very young man. The problem is, though, that in classical Greek, you have neanias, and then you have the diminutive that makes him younger. It's like the younger age range. So you have neaniskos, and then a little bit older is neanias, and then a little bit older is an andras, right? But in the Hellenistic period, neaniskos becomes more common than neanias. Basically, they start what in the people who in the classical period would have been referred to as neanias in their age range, all of a sudden started to get referred to more often as neaniskos. And neaniskos replaced neanias. That's why when you look in the Bible, for example, you don't find neanias outside of the Gospel of Luke because he's using Attic Greek.
This is why I can't stand your ass, because you tell me that I'm wrong. Oh, I'm wrong, and then you tell me
Because you
that I'm
don't agree
wrong.
with me. Yeah.
Show me a fucking source. Angelina, where is the source about the pubescent children being used as drugs? Find it. If you should be furious that you've been buying into Ammon Hillman and you still haven't seen that source yet. You should be furious by now. You should watch all the time you spent watching him, cheering him for him. You should be wanting all that time back. Oh yeah, I'm sorry that makes super chats that I actually have bills that someone else doesn't. It'd be nice to not. It'd be nice to be on welfare and just be like a little kid all day. I'm gonna work on my live stream all day. I'm gonna work on my live stream all day and not have to pay bills like a little kid, like a little fucking 8-year-old. Imagine being leading a cult and you have an 8-year-old brain, where everything you don't understand is wrong. Like the whole Proto-Indo-European thing is so funny to me. He doesn't understand Indo-European. He doesn't understand like basic, it's science. When there's a word, they like, I'll show you the word for mother and watch this. Indo-European word for mother. So, okay. Ammon Hillman says Proto-Indo-European words don't exist. Or Proto-Indo-European is made up. Doesn't exist, he says. It's made up.
He thinks it's Pelasgian.
Just Pelasgian. Yeah. They don't know. Yeah. Because here's the thing. A child, when their friend has a toy that they don't have, they start to build. They go, I don't even like that toy. That's stupid. I like mine better. Like that's how a kid acts, right? They don't go, oh wow, that's cool. I wish I can get one of those someday. Like that's like normal behavior. But like a child will go, that's stupid. I don't like that. It's because he doesn't understand it. So he doesn't. So look at this. Old Norse, modir, Kurdish, mak, mata, and Bengali, ma, Persian, madar, and then all the way on the west in Greek, metera, madre, mera, mar, madre, ma. People started noticing this. Guess who's the first person to start noticing this? Hesychius of Alexandria started noticing this. All the way back in the 5th, 6th century, people started noticing this. This isn't some made-up thing. This is something people have been noticing for centuries now. And it started to really get picked up in the 18th century, 18th, 19th century. Parsons was one of the, I got a whole book about it called Searching in Search of the Indo-Europeans. And it's a science. It is a science. To put this stuff together, there's absolutely no doubt that these languages go back to a common ancestor root called the Yamnaya people. And they lived north of the Black Sea. But guess what? Since Ammon Hillman does not have that training, he never learned about it. He doesn't know Sanskrit. He doesn't know Persian. He doesn't know any of the Eastern dialects of Indo-European. So it's so he gets like intimidated by it. That's why when you talk about Babylonian sources, Epic of Gilgamesh. Oh my God, Epic of Gilgamesh is so bad. It's actually like one of the greatest pieces of literature ever written. Believe it or not, it's like one of the foundations of how to write an epic. The Greeks in the Iron Age borrowed from the Babylonians. They even say this themselves. He ignores those sources. He won't show you those sources, which I'll show you in my video. Like he'll make things up, like the lyre was invented by Greeks when we could find those in ancient. We dug up in the city of Ur. They dug up a perfectly beautiful lyre from the city of Ur, going back to like 2500 BCE. But all that stuff that he doesn't understand, he gets intimidated by it. What does he do? He shies his shit on it. And the people who I feel bad for people like this. I feel bad for people like this because they don't know better. They're not educated. They don't understand what they're being told is garbage. I feel sorry. I do. I want you to learn something. Hopefully you can learn something from I don't know. Actually, no. I actually don't have any faith in people who have gotten this far and are still like you see it. People send me screenshots of this what is it, Reddit. I've seen the Reddit page. Oh my God, that's sad. What a sad corner of the internet that is. Repeating the same lingo about prepubescent virgins being needed for the rite, as if this is like something that they're going to do. Like it's crazy shit that I've seen there.
Can I share something?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share something in my other tab, and you're gonna
Thank you,
get a
Andre.
kick out of this.
The Herculaneum scrolls burned by a volcanic eruption recently got decoded using machine learning. And the first word that has been correctly decoded was purple. Yeah, I saw that. That is pretty cool. But once again, like all of a sudden, this is the what is the fallacy called when one thing doesn't connect to another? False something. There's a fallacy. It's called something when you claim one thing's connected to another, but it's not. I forgot what it's called. Anyways, but they commit that fallacy there. So yeah, we found a Herculaneum scroll. Let me pull it up actually. Herculaneum purple. So here it is. I can't just get a photo of it. Here it is. Herculaneum scroll. You can see that right there.
They digitally scanned it.
Yeah, Porphyros. Now, this is so funny to me. They find the word purple in a scroll. Therefore, Ammon's right. Can you just imagine the low IQ intellect there? They found the word purple in a scroll. Therefore, prepubescent children are being drugged, and that's what that means. You know what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? They found the word purple in a scroll. Therefore, X exists. Therefore, Y, Z, M, N, L, G, and G also exist.
Neil, guess how many times the word porphyra occurs in the TLG corpus?
I would say thousands.
That's your guess?
Yeah.
1,000? What do you think? 2,000?
1,600.
2,426. So it's a really popular thing, and you got to ask why.
Imagine going through a single conversation without using any colors. You're always describing things as people.
I would push back on that. It's not because it's a color, because it's very, very rarely used. First of all, porphyra, the word that I just looked up, is not the color. It is the dye or the fabric or things made from it, right? So the color is a completely different word, and that's not included in the count. So if you count the color and combine that with the actual name of the substance, you're probably going to get a lot more. I'd have to search for the color form, porphyreas or porphyr.
So another part of the video that we're working on, another one of the segments that I'm putting together, is his complete bullshit lie about the word phoenike. Like and let's pull that up real quick.
Phoenix. So the purple form porphyrios occurs 3,760 times. So if you combine that with the other references, you got 6,000. So why are we surprised that the first word they decoded from the Herculaneum scroll is porphyra? So it's very, very, very common thing. It's royal purple, exactly. It's Tyrian purple.
Like the funny part is, therefore these fake rights that I pulled half out of the PGM and half out of another source and half out of another. They're doing history like it's a jigsaw puzzle. Like, okay, I'm gonna go into the PGM. And the PGM has a source that mentions a virgin, and the virgin, and it mentions a little boy too, and another part of the same PGM chapter, right? There's a virgin, and they have nothing to do with each other, but let's put those two together as if they're one thing. Then I'm going to go to another source that's written 200 years before that mentions purple. I'm going to put that into my little box. Then I'm going to go to another source from 500 years before that one that mentions the word burning. I'm going to put that into my box. Then I'm going to go to the Bible where it says, I don't know, Eucharist, and I'm put them all together as if it's an equation or it's a jigsaw puzzle. That is not good methodology. And by the way, Ammon knows this. He's gotten trained. He's got a PhD in classics. He knows that's not how you do ancient history. You do not handle text that way. You don't cross-pollinate ancient sources from centuries apart from each other that have nothing to do with each other and connect them like it's connecting dots. You don't do that. What's that? What verse is that? It's Revelation 7, right?
Hold on a second. You're just looking for Phoenix, right? Phoenix. It is. Let's see. We have our examples from Plutarch, Galen. Hold on a second. Got a Herodotus. So many of these. Oh no! Wait a minute. Hmm.
I found it.
Okay. You found
So
it.
I'm actually I got Cross Bible ready to go. So okay. You can see right here where it says Kai Phoenikes at Entis Kersin Auton. So they're holding Phoenikes in their hands, is exactly what it says. So the word Phoenikes in this case obviously means palm branches. Why do we know that? Because we know other rituals such as Thesmophoria, such as the Sukkot festival, and the context of what they're talking about here. Palm branches right here. But the word Phoenikes also means purple. But so you and I did a huge deep dive on this recently, where we found the way that the word Phoenikes by itself, when it's being used, normally there's a dendros. It'll say like dendros tree with it. It doesn't always do that though. It doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, the neuter dendron.
That's how we know that Phoenikes is a tree, because it'll say dendron Phoenikes, tree, palm branch, palm tree. But they're holding branches, so you don't get the word dendron here because it's not a tree. You're gonna see in the video, we're gonna break it all down. But here, what does he do? He inserts that it's purple. It's not even the same porphyra, which is funny because it's not even the same word for purple. It's a different word for purple. It's Phoenikes, not even porphyra. So like, it hurts my head. I can see why someone like Luke doesn't want to deal with this, but I'm glad we got him and we got Colorado.
Unless he decides at the last minute, you know what, this is too free. I don't know. I haven't gotten a hard confirmation from him. He said he wants to help, but let's see.
Yeah, he said he's going to do it.
I sent him a lot of stuff.
No, I think he's working on it. I think that's what he's doing.
So somebody mentioned that there are a lot of words in Greek that don't come from Proto-Indo-European.
Yeah.
I just want to mention, yes, there is a pre-Greek substrate in the Greek language of tons of words that do not originate from Proto-Indo-European.
Yeah.
So yes, that is very, very much like that is non-controversial. All the sources confirm that.
Right. I wouldn't say most of them though. I would say most of them are from Indo-European, right?
Most of them are. The core vocabulary is, but there is a large like collection of anatomical terms, animals, architectural terms, geography, maritime. I'm just going through the categories of the metals, musical instruments, mythological characters, plants, social practices, theonyms, names of gods, tools, toponyms, place names, weapon names that are just not from the same source. Like they're getting borrowed from some other cultures that the early Proto-Greeks were in touch with.
The word for Zeus is Proto-Indo-European. It's not pre-Greek. So I don't know. You can't escape that. This is funny right here. He said he wasn't a buccaneer pirate pederast. Should we go to that verse and examine that verse real quick? That's John.
He said he wasn't a buccaneer pirate pederast.
This is what these people think is in the Greek. They think the Greek says this, and everyone's lying to you about the translation, except for Ammon. He's the only one who knows the real translation, because they haven't learned a lick of Greek yet, so they can't read it. So they just trust that he's right. I feel sorry for those people. Like they're being so badly diddled by just somebody who just wants to be chaotic. It's like a child got a hold of an audience of 1,000 people, and this is what we're witnessing happen. Just complete destruction and chaos of like the leadership of the channel. So it's Mark 14, right? Mark 14, yeah. Let's look at this for a second. Let's just show you. Let's find this pederast in here. Mark 14 and Mark 14. All right. So, okay. Let me pull my screen up. And I was just thinking about something. The person who left a comment and says, "Don't belittle us." You guys lost that. You guys lost that right to not be belittled. When you follow a guy that's spanking the floor and belittling every single person he wants without any single care in the world, don't act like, "Oh, poor us. Why are you attacking us?" No, fuck off. Seriously, go fucking grow up. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm not listening to your bullshit. Like, you're not getting that. I'm not. No, you're gonna be treated like an adult if you're gonna act like one. All right. So, what verse is it now? Do you remember?
It's gonna be 46.
All right. So the
Okay,
men.
wait. So wait. No. 46. So you're Mark 14. Keep going.
Here it is right here. Am I leading a rebellion? No, is that in it?
Yeah. So
Here's staying right here.
So this is that's interesting. It's the NIV.
He pronounce the word right though. Leistain. He always says leistain. Doesn't even pronounce the word right.
Yeah, he says leistain.
Yeah, because of this,
as if it has a
down here.
Because of the iota subscript that he thinks justifies his misplaced stress. I don't think he thinks that. I think he knows it's wrong.
No, yeah,
he's just doubling down on it.
No, even under his own theory, it does that. That's bullshit. He's lying to you. Because
he recently dug up a source that affirms that the ionic form is trisyllabic, leistes, but it's still stressed on the end.
Still,
so you don't get So even if it's three syllables,
the stress always is the one you stress. That's why it's called the stress. So like you put a little stress on the auto subscript, but then you always have the stress over
there's no stress on the auto subscript. This is the Attic form. This is disyllabic. There are two syllables. The last one gets the stress. The second one does not. It is leistes in Attic Greek, right? Leistes. But if in modern Greek this is still a word, it's listis. So I'm sorry if you don't like the way that sounds. I can say leistes just fine, but it's not leistes. I'm sorry, like I'm leistes.
Yeah, you're still wrong about. Anyways,
yeah, it's just wrong.
He says Greek informant with a number 20. Thank you for the super chat. Says Steve Neoniskos. It's a diverse age, 12 to 25, to a young man, a teenager, or a young adult. It also carried a slightly derogatory or ironic connotation, implying someone experienced, naive. Okay, so Greek. I appreciate the engagement here. Where is your source that says 12 to 25?
Yeah,
because me and Steven have provided at least 5 of them already to the internet. We have more to come. We have like 100 now. I think. What do we have? 100 now, Steven? On the Nisco?
Yeah.
Just quick response. We have about 100, right?
Well, I mean, no, we have 350 slides with all of the rebuttals. I don't know how many.
Well, I'm just saying
how many Neonisco sources we have. We've dug up at least 30. At least 30. Yeah.
At least 30 on slides now, but like we just seen about 100.
Well, okay. Yes. We've gone through hundreds and hundreds of them on the TLG. We've just like been scanning them and trying to pick out the ones that actually are unambiguous about the age. What Greek informant is referring to here, and I just have to say, κάνεις λάθος, φίλε μου. Πρέπει να μπεις στην ιστοσελίδα μου. Μπορείς να μου γράψεις ένα μήνυμα. Μπορώ να σου εξηγήσω από κοντά. Αν θέλεις, μπορούμε να κάνουμε μια κλίση και θα εξηγήσω τα πάντα καθαρά για να καταλάβεις. Επειδή εγώ έχω εξετάσει αυτό. So let me just say that the someone inexperienced, naive, and enthusiastically youthful, that is true with respect to Hesychius. Like Hesychius glosses it that way, right? He says Nepios. That is his explanation. But the 12 to 25 age range, like I need a source for that. I'm sorry. 12 is you're probably going to be more in the Mirakion age. If there are the few sources that go against what we're saying, like, right, that we're like, there are sources that weigh on both sides of this. There are sources that call the same person a Mirakion and a Neoniskos.
But the biggest thing that I'm trying to get at for Greek informant here is we provided 5 screenshots of sources that literally say 20 to 30, and they all agree with each other. Sources from 400 BC, 200 BC, 300 or 100 BC, 100 AD, 200 AD. All of these sources that all say 20 to 30. I didn't even know this up until a month ago.
I didn't know it either. Yeah, I didn't know it either.
These could be like 15 or something like that. And I still probably think you could probably get away with that. You probably push it back 5 years or so. But the sources don't say that. The sources all say 20 to 30, which is what the fuck? How are we? Okay, let's decide to drop it back to 12 years. We're talking about post-puberty still. So you can't go to, so let's go back to this text now. And by the way, Tiger Shark, I saw you in the chat. You said you got a source about Mary's purple hands. This is the problem I have with Ammonites. You found a source that says Mary had purple fingers. So what? Do you connect all the sources that you find into that one source and apply it to there? Anyways.
Well, Neil, what is the significance of her having purple fingers?
I don't even know. I forgot. It's not because of drugs, though. It's not because of prepubescent children being used as drugs.
I mean, I went back to the Latin for those texts, and it said that she's working at the purple with her fingers because she's knitting the fabric that is purple that goes in the temple veil. Like that is what the text is describing. She's working at the purples with her fingers.
You found a text that said Mary had purple hands. Therefore, let's take the PGM, apply it to Mary. Let's take this other source from 500 BC, apply it to Mary. History is not a jigsaw puzzle. You take one source at a time. That's how you do it.
But the implication, what they're trying to imply, though, is that because her fingers are purple, supposedly, ostensibly, it means that she was applying it to her private part.
Veg. Yeah.
Because that's where the burning purple is supposed to come from.
It doesn't say that in the source. That's why I don't care. I don't care how you interpret it. I want to see the source say what you think it says. Anyways, finally to the text where it says, am I leading a rebellion? It says, hos epi lestein exteltate.
Exceltate.
And then it says meta makeron. So he says,
os epi lestein exilthate meta makeron ke exilon silavin me. So he's asking a question, right?
You've come at me like I'm a lay stain? That's basically what he's saying, right?
And the NIV translates this as, am I leading a rebellion? Right? Because they're paraphrasing.
That's a very translated version. They're taking a
change the NIV to the NASB. Let's see what the NASB says. That's a bit more literal. That's going to be a bit more. The NASB, the New American Standard.
Here we go. This is a better translation.
It's a literal translation. Yeah.
There's a makeron right here.
As you would.
As you would against a man inciting a revolt. So this man inciting a revolt is where they're getting lay stain from. Lay stain?
Exactly.
Lay stain is a word.
And you just said it. You just said it the way that it should be said with that pronunciation. Yeah.
Yeah, buccaneer, could be brigand, pirate. It can mean all those things. Let's go with pirate. Let's change the translation to Ammon's favorite word, pirate, right? And by the way, what's funny is he takes that word pirate in another source where it says piratas, and he says that means pirate. But why did they use piratas here then? Doesn't that make no sense? Why wouldn't they use piratas here, or why wouldn't they use leistes over there? Because they're using different words. Anyways, that's another thing. All right.
Well, the foundation of the theory is that a piratis is a sex trafficker.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about. Let's talk about leistes right now.
Yeah.
So let's just say this is pirate, and Ammon's right, and I think he is right. I think you can say this is pirate. So let's change the translation. Have you come at me with swords and clubs to arrest me, as you would against a pirate? Does that still make you does that make you a child trafficker still? Do you understand? Do you guys see what I'm trying to say here? You cannot just insert all this underlying shit to the text that's not there. So, did pirates in ancient antiquity do human trafficking? Yes. Does that mean if you get called a pirate, that means that you're a pedo? No, that's crazy. This is so low IQ crap that I can't believe I'm even still explaining this. Do you want to like? Can you like kind of explain what I'm saying here?
Yes, there were two categories of robbers in antiquity. There were the leistai, right, and the pirates or piratai. So the pirates were the ones who were robbing people at sea, and the leistai were the people who were robbing people at land. That's the thing, is you wanted to attack somebody, take what they had, their wealth, and capture it. You were a thief, a robber. That was your booty. You were taking the booty. That was the definition of listis, right? A robber.
But if you're gonna, but if there's a leistes that's doing child trafficking, it will say it in the source what they're doing. Just like with the medicated bandage thing, a syndone. Let's find that passage real quick. Real quick, tiger shark. Nobody denies that they use purple mollusk being burned in incense.
In the incense.
Tiger shark. I like tiger sharks. I'm trying to be like, I like tiger shark, but like, if you find a source that says they're using purple mollusks for incense, and then you find another source about, I don't know, they're just some PGM source where they're doing another drug. Because I'm trying to understand, where do you get the idea that you find a source where they're burning mollusk in incense, which is nothing wrong with that. Maybe they like the smell of it. I don't know.
Well, Dioscorides talks about burning mollusks to produce toothpaste, and like that's a medicinal thing.
No,
that's
we
legit.
know
We found that source. Yeah.
What I'm trying to understand is, how do you go from that to like pre-puberty children being medicated and used?
How do you
Twilight Zone?
How do you go from that to what specifically Hillman explains is the burning purple in his theory? The burning purple is the colchicum. It is the meadow saffron concoction that Medea used to make that was applied to the vagina and came out of the, he has a very elaborate explanation for what this is. It is not the burnt mollusk shells that are used to cure, to brush your teeth.
They never say that in the Medea sources either. He takes other sources that don't belong together and puts them together in one. Tiger shark, I want to ask you a question, man. Try this for me. Try taking all of the sources that you think are central to this burning purple thing. Forget about anything Ammon said. Delete Ammon from your brain for one day. Try to take the sources as they are, and then try to make sense of it and to try to find what Ammon's saying in the sources without presupposing what he's saying is already there. This is what I'm noticing. They're presupposing it before they even get there. So it's presupposed burning purple is a drug from pre-puberty children. So then when they find a source that says they're burning mollusks as incense, they go, there it is. Because it's presupposed in their heads. Try not to presuppose anything. Go to the text with your brain completely empty. You're not thinking about anything. Just go to the sources, and then tell me if you find anything, because it's not there. That's what I'm trying to tell. Like, the way I noticed that the methodology is for a lot of people who follow Ammon, is they're presupposing what Ammon told them before they enter the text. So then when they find something that's even somewhat close, the word purple, oh, there it is. The word burning, oh, there it is. The word neoniskos, oh, there it is. The word sindone, oh, there it is. They had it's all presupposition. If you think about it, they're presupposing the solution before they even find it. And then sindone is the other one, and then I want to talk about Greece before we go, because that was the main subject anyway. So sindone,
I'm gonna sign off soon.
Yeah, sindone is right after that, right?
It's 1454. I think you skipped it. Oh wait, no, it's 1451. 51.
All right, here's one of the this one's even crazier. It says a neoniskos.
Read it in Greek.
Kai neoniskos tis sunkoluthe auto parabablemenos sindona epi gumnu kai kratusin aton. So what you got there is you got the parableblemenos wearing nothing but a sindona, not a sindone. He gets that word wrong. It's see. I just want to show people real quick they don't. I don't think they know what we're saying when we correct him. Like, how can you correct him? He's been learning Greek for 30 years and you're not. Well, fine, but look, I just want you guys to realize something. Do you see that little dot? See this little dot over the O or the omega? Or I'm sorry, Omicron?
Omicron, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is a grave accent.
Acute accent.
See the iota? That does not have an accent. So when you read this word, it's sindona. It's not sindon. Yeah. It's sindona. That's a basic 101 shit that he's missing on you. All right. Sindona means burial cloth or cloths in some cases. It's usually in the context of burial. That's what you usually find it. But it literally just means cloth.
Or fabric,
now, if there's a sort, I think we found a source where there is a sindona being applied in a medical sense.
Yeah, when you cut it into strips, you can use it as a bandage. Yeah.
Text is telling you this. That the idea that the source is a bandage because it's sindona is false. The source tells you they're using medications and applying it to the sindona, and then you know it's a medicated bandage. Is that happening here in Mark 14:51? Is there anything in here? Is the word pharmakon in here? No. So is the word, you would find pharmakon sindone. He adds the word drugged, medicated bandage, and then he adds balls in here too. Remember he said that? He said his translation.
He says penis and testicles.
This is what he does. A prepubescent child, Naxos never says, is never, zero in any source is a Naxos, a pre-puberty boy, 0.
100%.
The farthest you can probably go is like 15. So he changes a young man into a prepubescent child. And then he says, applies a medical bandage, which is just the word bandage, by the way, not even bandage, cloth, over his naked body. Epigumnu. That doesn't say anything about dick and balls in there. It's just over his naked body.
Mm-hmm. Well, what part of speech is gumnos?
Gumnos?
Yes, gumnos.
What about it?
It is an adjective. So it's an adjective. It is his naked ... We don't know what his naked is.
Oh, you're okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not dick
over
and
his
balls.
naked, and then it's implied. Yeah. There's some noun that's implied there, like his body.
So, I'm making one video on this, and this is, by the way, this is not even scratching the surface on what some of the stuff that we worked on with just some of the stuff he has written in his book, some of the stuff you guys will see. It's on the back burner. We're slowly working away at it. It'll be done in about a month and a half from now. So sorry, yeah. I'm not gonna finish it. I'm not gonna finish it before Greece. I got way more things that I gotta work on.
And people in the chat who are like criticizing, Neil for pronouncing Greek, like, we're working on it. Like, Neil works his ass off. Like we do Greek on a regular basis for like how many months? 6 months. It takes time, and like I want to see you guys work that hard. Like if you're not happy with the result, right? Like it's a process.
I mean, half of the people that are writing that stuff don't even do it. Don't do any of it. They're just.
Can I show something funny though? Can you show what I have on my other tab?
Yeah, let me just read this stuff real quick.
Oh, okay.
I did not presuppose anything when I mentioned the Herculean. I wasn't talking about you by the presupposition. I just found that no. I wasn't talking about you in particular. But I've heard this from other people. So I'm glad you. Thanks for the super chat. You didn't have to do that. I wasn't even talking about just you, but I did notice some people thought because they found the word purple that like this is somehow a vindicate. Ammon said this on his channel. Ammon said this on his channel. He said, "Oh my god." Anyways, yeah, and no, it is a very funny coincidence that that's the word they found. I actually thought it was hilarious. I was still friends with Ammon when they found that, and I remember talking to him. I remember calling him, and texting him. Hey, look, they found the word purple. I thought it was hilarious. I'm on the same page as you. What do you want to show?
Show what I have in this tab. Okay, so this dude, Hadzianakis, he is basically the Greek version of Hillman. He is, I'll turn the sound off. This guy is an electrician, I think, or I don't know. I think he's an electrician. And his theory, he's one of the major proponents in Greece for Hellenic priority, like the Pelasgian origin of the Greek language. This is Ammon. This is a Greek version of Ammon, who basically in this lecture and many, many other videos on YouTube, he has a thick book about it, right? That's one thing that Hillman doesn't have, is a big, thick book that lays out all these theories. This is a whole school in Greece. There are people in India who believe that all of the Proto-Indo-Europeans originated in India. There's a school in Greece that believe all of the Proto-Indo-European languages originated in Greece, and that the Pelasgian myth is true, and that basically all other languages descend from Greek.
Just ignore all the evidence, all the archaeology, all the linguistics, and let's just make stuff up. That's what he's doing. He's making shit up. Just wanting.
And I actually,
by the way, for native Thessalians who spoke, according to sources that I've read, pre-Greek words or
and this thing that he's explaining right now on the whiteboard, I ran this by like an expert linguist that we've been trying to get on your show, who said this is all absolute complete nonsense. Like, I actually vetted all of this stuff, and it's like totally bunk. But the thing is that the Greeks that subscribe to this really it's very appealing to them, because it appeals to their nationalistic sentiment to think all of the world languages descend from our language. So Greek is not like the cousin language of Old Germanic and Latin and the mainstream theory. No. All of the similarities between these languages can be explained by this guy's theory that they all descend from Greek. Like he said, the Doric dialect, basically, like the Dorians went out and populated the Indo-Europeans originate from Greece, basically.
Well, we live in a time period where there's so many people like this. This guy, Ammon, Ralph Ellis, Andrew Tate, Trump. Like, there's people who just get followings and they're just unstoppable with it. They just get, there's people with, Ammon Hillman has charisma. I'll never be able to take that from him ever. He'll always have a channel. He's always going to have a community. And I think that's great. I'm not trying to take that away from him. I'm not trying to shut him down. I'm not trying to cancel him. I'm not digging into his court records. I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about the text. I care about, is he right? That's all I care about. That's all the video is going to be about. I don't even care. We barely even talk about his character, except kind of call him out as being a liar. If you want to call that character attack, then sure, guilty, because he is. He's knowingly bullshitting 50% of the time. I used to say 25, but now it's gotten worse. He's getting worse. Like Satan. Here's another one. He says that Satan comes from Saturn. The word Satana is in Ugaritic. It's an ancient Semitic word that predates the Bible. That means accuser. It means challenger. It means like to challenge somebody. It can mean to oppose somebody. It's like opposition. It means to be the opposition. Like your ops. You know that the slang term the kids use, the ops. That's a Satan.
Well, one question in the chat is, why would he be lying to this degree? You're accusing him of lying to this like exponential degree. Why? What is his motivation for lying?
Why does anyone lie? Why does anyone lie? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to tell you. He gets a following. He gets a huge following from it. It feels good. You have a lot of power. You have people under your thumb. I watched him cancel his entire week of Greek one-on-one courses. I was one of his students. He canceled me. He said that I only got to 3 and I left. He lied. I got to 3 and he booted me, because at that point when I was after 3, Danny Jones' podcast hit. He blew up. He did not have time to teach Greek anymore. He consolidated his entire classes into 2 one-hour groups a week, where there was 10 people in the group paying more money than they would for a one-on-one. So he did make money off of all this. That's one reason. And number two, it's kind of like in his nature. He wants to be like, he has that, what's the word? Narcissistic attitude. He's got a narcissistic personality where he wants to be praised for being special. So what does he do? He wants to discover things that no one else has discovered before. Look how smart I am. Look how great I am. That's narcissism. So what do you mean? Why would he be lying? Why does Ralph Ellis lie? Why do a bunch of mythicists lie? Why does Donald Trump lie? Why does people lie for many different reasons?
If he was the only one in the world who was right and everyone else was wrong, that would make him the smartest person in the world, right?
It'd make him the smartest person in the world. What are the odds, right? What are the odds? I forgot what I was going to say right before that. Whatever.
Does he make money? That's the question in the chat. Does he really make money? People
he does. Yeah. He made enough money in the last few months or week where he could probably just chill for a while and take a break, because like I told you, the dude does not have any bills to pay. He told me he has free rent from government. He doesn't pay bills. He told me if he makes too. When I asked him, bro, you should monetize your channel. Why aren't you monetizing your channel? If I make too much money, they're gonna take away my government stuff. I can't do that. And so it's like, bro, he has motivations to not even make money, and then he shits on everyone else who has to pay bills. Who actually, because we're all in this rat race. We have no choice. I have to make a living somehow. This is how I do it. So fuck off. I don't care what you say. I'm doing it. And I'm thank you for everyone that supports me. And I don't make people give me money to watch my content. He's the one charging for his Greek. I don't charge money for anything. People can support me if they want to support me. Or otherwise, you can watch me for free. I'm more free than Ammon Hillman is. I have less of a grifter than Ammon Hillman is. Ammon Hillman is selling more things than I am. He's Greek. I've never sold anything. Sorry, it's true.
There's nothing wrong with selling Greek, because I give Greek classes. Yeah, you're selling your time.
I confronted him about this one time when he was like, and I was like, bro, you're selling Greek too. We were just talking, but when we're still friends, when he was talking about like, he said something about like, everyone's got something to sell. I said, so do you. You're selling Greek classes. You know what he said to me? But this is my profession. It was like the narcissism came through to the roof in that moment. In his mind, it's okay for him to do it because it's his profession. But everyone else is just selling, grifting, or lying. How is this not a profession either? You don't understand what I'm saying? Like, for you, it's okay. For everyone else, it's not. It's narcissism. That's purely what it is. Can you talk a little bit more about your latest video that's 4 hours long? I would love to do that, and this is a good idea for my next live. I'm gonna do a live stream where I talk about that video in depth. That was a great idea. Thank you for the big super chat. You didn't have to do all that. That's way too much, man. Thank you for that $20. I appreciate that. Actually, since you did that, I'll spend some time with you if you want to just wait for a few minutes before Stephen leaves, and I can run down the video and show a couple clips out of it if you don't mind. Thank you for that super chat. Let's see if we got any more, and then I just want to George Quinones. Thank you for this $2. And then I just want to y'all make a great thank you, Laura Cameron. Okay, so is that the last one? Damn, there's a lot of super chats tonight. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about before we go, Greece. I think we covered most of what we're going to do. For anyone who just got here now and wasn't here in the beginning, we are going to Greece in 3 weeks. This is real. We have plans. We have equipment. We're going to make the best of it. We're going to try to go live while we're there. We got Delphi. We got, obviously, the Acropolis in Athens. Eleusis, I think, right?
Yeah, we could probably go to Eleusis.
Eleusis is close.
And the Temple of Poseidon on Cape Sunio.
Temple of Poseidon. I'm going to be in the islands. You might be dipping off for that point to do some work.
Yeah, I'll be go to an island. Yeah.
I'm going to travel the island.
You're going to try to go to Delos?
Delos. I have a mission to go to Delos. Not even just for the Delos inscription, but just for other things. I want
Yeah.
to see the house of
And
Dionysus.
yeah, and also like, you know, like Delos is just, they call it, it's called Delos there, right? So you could say Delos, right? But it is called Delos. Like the locals call it Delos.
Right. I'm just going with what the locals call it.
Yeah, yeah. So, but people are going to hear that probably because you're going to call things the way they're called when you're there, and that's just the way they talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it though. So we're trying to meet Bexus, and we're trying to interview him, and that's basically what we got going on for the next 3 weeks. I'm going to be trying to do as much preparation for that as possible. I'm going to release a video before I leave, but not the Ammon one. And yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Shrooms are not legal in Greece. No. Somebody asked that in the chat.
Here, bro. Hopefully this buys you a drink there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dionysus Spirit. Yes. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I wish the drinks were that cheap there.
Are they pretty expensive over there?
No, you know, it's like the euro. The euro itself is just it's just expensive. But actually, compared to the rest of Europe,
going to get a bottle of wine from the store there.
People should, if people realize like Greece is one of the cheapest or one of the most affordable European destinations. Like it's it's not France. Like you don't go broke there.
Yeah.
If there are expensive restaurants, but you can travel there on a budget.
Israel, I spent like a good few thousand on that one. But yeah, this is gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna have a good time.
I hope it motivates people to go, and if not, then at least they get like a window into it, of like a really interesting perspective from your nice camera equipment.
Right. I got different lenses. One of them's like 50 millimeter, so it really zoomed in. Then I got in between that, I got 25 millimeter and then a 16 millimeter, which is wide. So I got the wide, I got the prime, and I got the zoom. So I should have all the angles covered.
Because this is going to be like my, I don't know, 10th, 15th time in Greece. I've stopped counting how many times I've gone to Greece. So I'm really looking forward to like vicariously re-experiencing that like first time in Greece feeling that you're going to have like through your eyes, like seeing it all for the first time. Because I'm kind of jaded, but I did that 10 years ago. This is actually going to be my 10-year anniversary, my wedding anniversary, when my wife and I went on our honeymoon to Greece. That was exactly 10 years ago in April. So this is my, yeah.
When did you start learning Greek before that?
No, it was there. So I went, I learned the alphabet on the plane ride. So like when I landed there, I could read everything because I already knew the Russian alphabet.
You've been learning for 10 years.
And I've been learning Greek for 10 years. Yeah. And so I started there. There was where I caught the bug. It was just in the air. I was like, oh my, it was life changing. I was like, I have to learn this language.
Special about this place, right?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
You're gonna have that experience. It's gonna be totally mind blowing.
And I'm already feeling that way about Greek anyway. So imagine how much more it's gonna be amplified.
Oh yeah, you're way better prepared than I was when I went. When I went, I was totally ignorant. I was just like, I was just compared. Yeah. I mean, I did, but like I consider myself back then totally ignorant. Maybe, I was a Russian major.
What I want to do is on top of the interview with Bexus and the Temple of Pan, I also want to, as I'm filming stuff, I'm going to kind of do a little research on it and then do commentary behind the scenes of my microphone where it's just me talking over the actual film. So it's going to be high quality documentary style videos. I'm going to try to get as much content as possible. So I'm not doing
your audience is in for a treat.
Yeah, I'm not doing any GoFundMe's or anything. I appreciate that what I've been getting so far from people who on my Patreon, people that join, and the channel itself, and all of it's going back into the channel. So if that's grifting, then whatever. Like that's putting it, you know what I mean? Because I just, this is what I do. Like this is what I love to do, and I want everyone else to be able to at least see what I'm doing and come with me as through the camera, right?
Exactly.
Plus, you can't talk about Greeks for years and not go there. You can't. Like, you have to go there. Yeah, I'm not going to be an armchair Greek lover, Phil Helleni, armchair Phil Helleni. You got to at least go there. Been to Israel. Why not go to Greece?
Yeah.
So
then you can identify there as a Philellinas. Philellinas is a Philhellene.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about that guy gave me $20, so I want to just do a quick little rundown on my video. But I know you said you had to go, right?
Yeah, I gotta go. It's kind of late here.
All right. Well, I'll hit you up tomorrow, and we got a Greek lesson tomorrow too. Don't forget.
Yep.
All right. I should send it to me. All right.
All right. I'm gonna bounce. Good to see everyone. Bye.
All right. So, Sindone is a shawl. It's in statues still worn. Yeah. It's a shawl. It's a cloth. Shawl is a good word, actually. By the way, I just want to show you something about Sindone real quick. Just look at this. This is how you know it's not a medicated bandage. Ready for this? Sindonology. This is so fun. This is how you know Sindone is not a medicated bandage. There's a whole entire science called Sindonology. And what is it? It's the study of shrouds, the Shroud of Turin. So it doesn't have anything to do with drugs at all. It's just the shroud. That's all it is. All right. I did say I was going to pull up my my recent video and kind of go over a little bit of it. It was the 4-hour video that you mentioned before I get going, because it's late over here too. All right, can you see that? So I worked on a video.
Okay,
a little while ago, a month ago, February 4th, and this is 4 hours and 44 minutes, and this was an intense video. So I just want to play a clip from it and then discuss it. So I don't know if you guys noticed, I released the Hilaria Holy Week video on the channel because of the time, because it's March, late March. So I wanted to get that out there, but I want to go up a little bit over here. Check this out. This is part of the reason why I'm going to Greece too. All right.
The Nabatean Arabs also capitalized on trade in spices, incense, silk, and gemstones, leveraging commerce with both the Middle and Far East to enrich their culture and economy. Dusaris extended his presence to profitable markets in both the Western and Eastern worlds. He gained prominence as a deity of worship in places such as Miletus, Kos, and Delos, even in Rome and other places in Italy. On Delos, a bilingual dedication to Zeus Dusaris was carved around 9 BCE, and it is at this very location at Delos where a secret society known as the Poseidonist merchants, where their House of Dionysus is located next to it. And this was a club of Phoenician, Greek, Latin, Egyptian traders who got together and worked out deals. The establishment of the Poseidonists, also called the clubhouse of the Koinon of the Baritan Poseidonist merchants, shipmasters, and warehousemen. During the early years of Roman hegemony, the late 2nd century BCE and onward, inscriptions of protective triads are found here. One of them, Baal, Poseidon, Astarte, Aphrodite, and Ashmon Asclepius, showing the Phoenician, the Latin, and the Greek inscriptions, translating their gods for each other. Ashmon being equivalent with Asclepius, Astarte, Aphrodite, and for some reason, Baal and Poseidon. There was also a Doric temple of Isis, built on high, overlooking at the beginning of a Roman period, to venerate the familiar trinity of Isis, Serapis, and Anubis. The famous House of Dionysus shows Dionysus riding on a panther. Another place called the Delos Synagogue was once thought to be a synagogue because of no images of gods present. However, it later was discovered that this was not a Jewish synagogue, but an inscription dedicated to Theos Hypsistos, God Most High, a type of pagan monotheism that was starting in this part of the world, possibly by the Poseidonist merchants themselves. It is here that a dedication to Zeus Dusaris, housed in a sanctuary that persisted until the end of the 1st century, despite the island's economic decline, suggests that Greek authors like Strabo and Arrian may have distinguished between Zeus and Dionysus, with Dusaris perhaps unique to the Nabateans, like Sabazius being a godhead connected to both Zeus and Dionysus. Dusaris seems to be an Arabian version of that same godhead, father and son rolled into one. The temple of Dusaris was also located.
All right. What you just saw there, let me show you something real quick. Everything you just heard about from that little clip that I played all exists on this small little tiny island right here in blue. See this? Everything you just heard all happened in this little spot right here, which I will be traveling to because I want to see it for myself. I have questions that I want to. Some of the stuff that is in the literature and in the peer-reviewed articles about this place, there's no images of. They're just describing what they're seeing. They're describing trinities of gods, and some of them are Phoenician and Greek and Latin, and all of a sudden it's like I want to see it so I can read it for myself and like look at the Greek. It's not, there's no photos of it, it's just in the literature. Sometimes that happens in academia where you just find stuff in the articles and you can't look at it. So I want to go to Delos and I want to find this spot. There's a house of Dionysus, there's a temple of Isis, and there's the Poseidonist club there, and it's got all this and there's a whole synagogue that they found. It's not really a synagogue though. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So Delos, this is in the Wikipedia page for Delos. Oh, by the way, this is the birthplace of Apollo. So this is super holy ground. Birthplace of Apollo and Artemis, the twins. So I can't wait to see this place. Let's see. Major cult to Dionysus and Apollo. I'm just trying to find something where it says here it is right here. So the landmarks, here's the landmarks. You have a Minoan fountain. That's what it looks like right there. Minoan fountain. You have a temple of the Delians, an example of the Doric order to Apollo. Terrace of the Lions, dedicated to Apollo. You have the Oikos of the Naxians from the 6th century BCE. That's the house of the Naxians. Poseidonist Club, I just mentioned them. Oh, look, they even have Wikipedia even knows about the whole protective triad thing. From the 2nd century BCE. Temple of Isis, Temple of Hera, House of Dionysus. It's got the famous image of Dionysus riding a panther. There it is right there. That's not the one, though. That's a different one. Actually, it should be. They should have it in this Wikipedia page somewhere. Let me see. Oh shit! They don't have it in here. That's weird. Here it is right here. The Delos Synagogue. The ruins of what was once believed to be an ancient synagogue. Now watch this. Ready? If we click on this, it's no longer. They thought it was the oldest synagogue ever, because it's constructed between 150 and 150 BC. Remember, there's no synagogues before 150 BC in anywhere in the archaeology. That's how young Judaism is. But they realized later, after more work has been done on this place, they realized there's nothing Jewish about this place at all. It's not at all a synagogue. It's actually a temple to Theos Hypsistos, God Most High in Greek. That's it. There's no mention of Yahweh. There's no Moses. There's no nothing. It's literally just a temple to the one God. So that's pretty cool, I think. I want to take a look at that stuff if I can get my hands on that.
Let's see. Let me just find something real quick. So this is, I'll show you which one it is. This one. This is the one this is the Dionysus on the panther from the house of Dionysus at Delos. So I want to find that. Look, he's got wings. He's a winged daemon. This is interesting to me. This is something, I don't know. Look at that thyrsus too. It's got the ribbons tied to it. The big. So look at the old thyrsuses did not have pine cones on them. You think that's a pine cone? No. Now, actually, check this out. I want to show you something. Thyrsus. If you look at thyrsuses on just like look them up, you'll see it usually has, this is the later Hellenistic period thyrsus is a pine cone with a rib, with usually a purple ribbon, something like that, with vines around it. But if you actually look at the oldest ones, if you go back far enough, on the old vases from like 500 BC, look at that. Look at that thyrsus. That is not a pine cone. That is like a leafy, flowery, look at that. Leafy, flowery stick. Let's see if I can find another one. Look at here. Look at this one. Look at leafy, flowery stick. They look different in the ancient world. In the Hellenistic period and Roman period, they have pine cones on them. But if you go back far enough, look at, again, leafy, flowery stick. Leafy, flowery stick. Leafy, flowery stick. It's always like that. Now check this out. Ready for this? Remember the rod of Aaron in Genesis, the book of Genesis? What does Aaron hold in his hand? A leafy, flowery stick. Am I right? Is that not a thyrsus? How is that not a thyrsus? It matches the old depictions of a thyrsus. What else would you call that? But Aaron holds a thyrsus. He's Bacchic, baby. I love it. All right. So I just wanted to talk about that before I get out of here. Zeus. Thank you for the super chat. Wait, can we do watch parties of these videos that you can give? That's a good idea, actually. That way we can ask questions during. I think that's a fucking great idea, actually. I think I'm going to start doing that. I think that's a really good idea. I think when I start my next video that I'm going to make, that I'm going to drop before I leave, I'm going to do a live stream before I go to Greece in 3 weeks, or I'm going to do a watch party, and we're just going to watch it, and I'm going to be reading the comments, and people ask questions. I'm going to pause it and we can talk about it. That is a phenomenal idea. Thank you for that idea, by the way. Is that the same thing as the modern Club of Rome? That's what I was wondering. I'm literally wondering, like, what was going on? Why are the Phoenicians, the Egyptians, and the Latins and the Greeks all meeting at this little island in the middle of the Aegean? What are they doing there? And they're all merchants, so they're all trading with each other. So that's one answer. But you always got to wonder: is it like this is like some early shadow government thing going on? I don't know. I think I'm looking into it. That's what I'm looking into. Thank you for that super chat. Apollona. So, all right, that's the last one. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be bringing there. Just want to show you, give you one more little tour of my camera before I get going. Pretty nifty, huh? Look at this, ready? It moves. Gonna capture all of Greece with this thing. And I'm hoping I can get a helicopter ride to get B-roll. That's what we're working. We're working on that. We're working on the helicopter ride. And and I couldn't have done it without Patreon. So thank you for the Patreon people. I appreciate you guys. You don't even know how much I appreciate you guys. Appreciate every single one. Oh, and I also want to speaking of Patreon and members, people who are members and Patreon, I do want to do a stream before I go, talking to just those people about some of the stuff that they want me to find when I'm there. If I can. And I'll do my best to do it. I can't promise everything, but I do want to talk to people on Patreon. So I'm gonna be I'm so bad at checking my messages on Patreon. And that's when I'm gonna start looking at that more. And leave me a comment in the Patreon messages, and let's talk. Let's talk about what you guys want to see in Athens. What is on your list? Something maybe give me an idea. Like, oh, I know about this spot in the Acropolis. It's over here. Go check it out, and I will definitely do that for you. So, all right. Thank you for that. Thanks, Neil Gotts. Thank you. Godspeed to you. That's it. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna hit the hay. I got some work to do tomorrow, and you have just attained true gnosis.
You have just attained true gnosis. The demiurge has no power over you.